Sorry.
Well, it was a very exciting atmosphere. It's a beautiful facility. The fans were very excited as well. Of course, President Putin, and then Mr. Tretiak and Mr. René Fassal from the International Ice Hockey Federation were officially here. President Putin gave a very heartfelt speech. He started out by a moment of silence for the victims of a bombing which occurred in Boston at the end of the marathon in the United States, which was very, very nice, very sincere. And then Mr. Putin officially opened the games, the Under-18 World Championships for 2013. Mr. Tretiak, president of the Russian Ice Hockey Federation, very, very famous, of course, goalkeeper, and Mr. René Fassal also welcomed the fans. The game was very exciting because every time the Russian team took control of the puck, everybody was cheering and excited. And of course, the score went back and forth, and it was tied until the very end of the game when the Russian team scored the winning goal, and then the United States team pulled the goalie, which means they removed the goalie to the bench and added an extra skater. So they had 6 skaters compared to the Russian 5 skaters to try and tie the game, and they were unable to do so. So it was a very, very exciting finish and a successful first game for the Russian team.
Again, speaking about the language, you say the American team or the Team USA or you know, the national US team. So
I think for the most part we go by the terminology of Team USA, but some other countries would refer to USA as the American team as opposed to the Canadian team. Both are in North America, of course, but Team Canada or Canadians, Team USA, Americans.
If you were a journalist, you would describe the game, yesterday's game, as the Team USA played Team Russia.
Correct. That would be the most specific terminology. Yet, obviously, you would say Team Latvia. Yet you might refer to them as Latvians or the Latvian team.
Are you an official who can enter the changing room of the team?
Yes, I have access because I'm a medical supervisor for this event. So we have access to all of the different rooms and the medical room, and but I'm neutral. So I'm with the International Ice Hockey Federation. So I did not speak to the American team or no.
And you didn't give any suggestions or comments to the head coach, no?
I'm just happy when there's no serious injuries to either team. That's.
Were there injuries, or how was the game physical, not physical?
It was a very physical game. Yeah, it was. There was many penalties called. The referees did a wonderful job of making sure that the game, remained under good control. And it was physical, but it was a very well played contest, very fair, and very close result.
What do you mean by saying that the game was physical? So this means what?
Physical means that there's a lot of contact or collisions or body checking instead of more puck control, where you avoid the opponent, you attack the opponent in order to body check and try to take control. So a physical game means a lot of or much contact or collision.
Speaking about the score and the scoring, so who scored first and when did it happen? Was it in the first period?
Yes, the USA scored early. They had a power play. They actually had 4 power plays in the first period, and they scored only on 1 of the 4. So they took the lead, and then the Russian team came back, and then the U.S. team took the lead, and then the Russian team came back. Then the Russian team took the lead, and the U.S. team tied. And then the Russian team got the most important goal, which was the winning goal.
And when did the winning goal happen?
I think there was only less than 5 minutes left in the third period, so it was very late in the game. So there was not a lot of time for the Team USA to score and tie the game again.
Do you think that the home team has an advantage of the home field?
I think most people would say that when you have your fans cheering for you and you're in your home environment, and it probably does provide some advantage, but not always. But there is a home rink or home arena or hometown or home ice advantage, yet it's not something that players can't overcome. But certainly it does help when you have such wonderful fans and the president of your country in attendance. Well, I think a sports commentator may use a variety of different explanations. When a player tries to go around another player, sometimes they say they try to beat them, which means they overcome their ability to stop him. So he beat the defenseman, which means he went around him. Or they could stick handle around him, which means they have the skill of controlling the puck. They could also kind of trick the defenseman. They call it a deke. So he deked the defenseman, which means he made a move that confused the defenseman and which allowed him to take the advantage to go around. So I think commentators could use a lot of different terminology. Well, there's a lot of different ways. You know, you can have a wrist shot, yeah, or a snap shot, or a slap shot. So there are just different ways of shooting the puck depending if your stick stays on the ice and the mechanism, like a backswing from golf would be more of a slap shot. Then there's a very common term called a one-time shot or a one-timer. And that means that when the puck is passed to the player, the defenseman or the forward, instead of stopping the puck and then shooting, it's all in one motion. So as the puck is moving, you time your shot so that you only have one contact, and that's a one-timer. There's a couple things. If a defenseman, for example, or a forward gets in the way of the shot, then they block the shot. But they also sometimes will put a player in front of the goalkeeper so they can screen the goalie. So the goalie didn't have a clear view because their view was obstructed by the player. And so they say the player screened the goalie didn't have a chance, so the puck went in. That would be called a tip in or a deflection. So the puck's course was altered by another player. The forward tipped it in the goal, or it was a tip in by the forward or a deflection by the forward, and then the goal is awarded to the last player who touched the puck on that team. Well, it's my second visit to Russia because I was the USA team doctor at the World Championships in St. Petersburg, which was quite some years ago. It was the year 2000. It was a wonderful experience. I spent 3 weeks in St. Petersburg, and this is my second time. I enjoyed very much. I'm very impressed with the magnitude, the size of the construction projects here in Sochi for the roads and the railway, and of course the venues, which are spectacular. So I think it's going to be a wonderful Winter Olympics in 2014.
Okay, best of luck to the Team USA at this tournament, and thank you very much, Michael.
Thank you. My pleasure, Yuri. Okay.
Yeah.